live.
Okay. Water.
This is our God's holy day, the Feast of Booths holy day. This is our God's holy day, the Feast of Booths 3 times a year. All men must meet, unleavened bread, open cakes are sweet. For the Tabernacles and the Feast of Weeks, holy convocations, call them the Big Three. It's a family affair, sisters throwing down. It's holy day, rejoice, eat and drink. Everyone's united on one accord. It's a time for bonding, not like fun. Assimilate the wilderness, yeah, we live in tents. It's a time to reflect on how God protects and provided for our people, yeah, for 40 years. Even in extreme environments, it was none of fear. When they was thirsty, he had Moses scrap a rock. When they cried for food, he gave them bread from the top. Of course, we'll see.
A true history.
This is our God's holy day, the Feast of Booths holy day. This is our God's holy day, the Feast of Booths holy day. The Feast of Booths on the continent of Africa, where there's wild beasts, travel the wilderness in the stream heat. He gives cloud by day to the battle shade, the fire by night just shows the way, and they give us warmth on the cold nights. No beast harmless, no mosquito bites. Opposition appears, send angels to fight. No, it's not the fear, he'll show us might. Promise us dominion, everything in sight. If we love our God with all our heart and might, things we reflect on during these 7 nights. It's our heritage, our way of life. This is our God's holy day, the Feast of Booths holy day. This is our God's holy day, the Feast of Booths holy day, the Feast of Booths. Let's open this Bible. Leviticus chapter 23, starting at verse 34. Speaking to the children of Israel, saying, the 15th day of this 7th month should be the Feast of Tabernacles for 7 days unto Ahayah. On the first day should be a holy convocation. You should do no servile work therein. Verse 39. Also in the 15th day of the 7th month, when you are gathered in the fruit of the land, you should keep a feast unto Ahayah 7 days. On the first day should be Sabbath, and on the 8th day should be Sabbath. Dropping down to verse 41. And you should keep it a feast until Ahayah 7 days in the year. It should be a statute forever in your generations. You should celebrate it in the 7th month. You should dwell in booths 7 days. All that are Israelites born should dwell in booths, that your generation may know that I made the children of Israel to dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am Ahayah, your God.
All right. Shabbat Shalom, beloved. How everybody doing? It's awesome to be amongst y'all once again. Everybody in high spirits, love to see that. As y'all know, we are closing out the Feast of Tabernacles, the most high holy day, one of the big 3, as I call it. For those who may be watching us, we apologize. Last weekend we was in the wilderness in tents and we didn't get good Wi-Fi, so we couldn't go live. We'll be live now. So for those who missed it, this will give you a recap of what the Feast of Tabernacles is. It's remembrance that the Most High commands the children of Israel to live in booths, to remind Israel that it is Him that we had to rely on. It is Him that we must rely on. He provided protection, provisions, everything. He was a husband. He was a God to us. He did everything. He protected and provided for us. He led us in the way in which we should walk. Ultimately, foreshadowing what's to come. He had taken our forefathers out of the land, out of their land of captivity. And when you're in the land of captivity, one priority of the ruling class is that they indoctrinate or social engineer the poor. They set up a system where they program the poor to rely on them or their government. Um, kind of reminds me of the study. Have any one of y'all ever heard of the horse in the blue plastic chair? Well, look it up, and y'all get time. But they study animals. The Most High said, "Learn from His creation." They study animals to learn how to control and manipulate mankind. Now we know a plastic chair can't hold a horse, but through the programming, the horse, when was tied to the blue chair, refused to move. They also did that on elephants, you know. But it's showing the same programming has been done to our people. I was talking to my wife today. I'm like, it's crazy. If anyone did see, when our people deny that we're the Israelites, it's for lack of knowledge of self. Because I was telling her today, I said, it's really a shame, but it's a curse. But when you look at it outside of the curse, it's a shame that we are the only nation that rely on another nation to handle our house business. Like, for example, if I have a disagreement with my wife, I don't need to call another nation to come handle or settle our issue. I'm supposed to handle it within my own house. In our community, we don't need to go to another nation to handle our community issues. We're the only nation that's set up like that. When China has a problem, a Chinese man go handle the problem. When the Arab have a problem in their land, it's their own nation. When the Jewish people have an issue, it's their own nation. So whenever we have an issue in the community, no offense to white people, but we call the white man to come. We call Daddy to come help us out. And when Daddy come, everybody are at ease. But like when you have a dog, one of the words that you train a dog to calm down is at ease. That's what I did. What y'all call y'all? At ease. At ease. What did you say? Oh, you call your name? That's how I came up in the area. Well, at ease. Hey, okay, boy, these new folks, I tell you. Well, I came up in the area when we were training dogs. It was at ease. Your dog knows to calm down, sit down. So I was telling them, we got all these gangsters, all these people that would kill our own people at the drop of a dime. But when one white man come with a badge on, that gangster become a coward. That's a sign of a curse. You know what I'm saying? It's showing that we are really the people. But ultimately, hold on. Tyrone Griffin, all praise to the Most High, and Shabbat Shalom to you and your wife and your family. Martha, Shabbat Shalom. And anyone else maybe watching who didn't chat in, Shabbat Shalom. Going back to what I'm saying is that the nations know the truth about our God and our people. They know the prophecies. So it's highly important for them to engineer the children of Israel into a submissive mentality, of total reliance on them. And that's what the Most High's High Holy Day, the Tabernacles, is showing us. He didn't create us to depend upon them. So when our forefathers got anxious for lack of comfortability or conveniency, the Most High proved them and showed them that there was nothing impossible for him. They even tempted him after he did marvelous works, miracles. Said, can the Most High provide a table in the wilderness? He sent them quails from the sea, which was a strange bird. They never saw quail before. That was a new thing. It says in the Josephus, he He sent a strange bird to them from the sea, created from the waters. He gave them manna from heaven, angels' food, or the corn of heaven, as is written. He cracked a rock, quenched the thirst of man and beast. He destroyed our enemies, showing that there's nothing. And that's why I was telling, this going back to the conversation I was having with my wife today about why it's against the law for a king to number the children of Israel. It's against the law for a king to number the children of Israel because he would put confidence in his army and not in the Most High. Okay? So what the Most High was really showing, it don't matter. Like I was telling about like the marriages that the kings were doing, performing was not out of love. These was alliances with other nations. So, but the Most High told the king he had one wife. One. Because he'll put his trust in these other nations for his protection, his strength, and not in the Most High. That's why it's against the law. Have one wife. No matter how many marriages these nations do, how many countries, like I told her, if all the nations of the earth came into one agreement, none of them could destroy the children of Israel if we kept his law, statutes, and commandment, because our God is the God of all gods. That's what it was all about. It wasn't about what somebody else was talking about. Put our faith in him, nothing, no matter. That's another thing. That's the real premise of the David and Goliath story. No matter how great in stature, how large the of multitude the army is, it don't matter. As is written, there's more with us than there is with them. So going into this closing out of the Feast of Tabernacles, a lot of things about to happen upon this earth, strange things, terrible things, dreadful things. This is what we must put our remembrance on this holy day. So I'm going to show y'all some videos, and we're going to read some articles. These are nothing. This is nothing to cause you to be anxious or fear. I'm telling y'all, if anybody is calling on the name of Ahayah and ain't prepared to die for this, you're in the wrong business. You're in the wrong occupation. The hour is now. Many of us are going to die. I was telling my son that this morning. You know, I thought about it last week. This ain't part of this is just what it is. I never considered it until last week. Getting a little emotional, but how unfair it is to have children at an old age. I thought about like, man, when my son is 28, most high will, I'll be 78 years old. Like right when he need me. My granddaughters. I had 50 years with my mama. Blessing. So this is my encouragement. So I don't play with this. I gotta make it. I gotta set the example for my son. For my wife. My mother. My grandbabies, my daughter. And y'all. So when my hour come, I can boldly speak like the woman with the 7 sons. I'll see y'all in the kingdom. See y'all in the kingdom. My heart is heavy. I ain't scared of nothing but God and wildlife, I'm telling you for real. And then dude had me in the house with the bushes or something. You know, catch me off guard or something like that. Yeah, for real. But I ain't afraid of what's coming. No lie. More than half of me ready, like Paul. But I got responsibilities and people that love me. Y'all love me. I love y'all. I love my family. But if I had it my way, hey, we're gonna read scripture today and when we resting from the labors. I'm ready to rest. But I got work to do. Um, with that being said, I just pray that, y'all meant what y'all said around the campfire. Follow me as I follow Yasha. I'm not playing with this. This is my life, as y'all has testified to. I won't be here forever. Men, you got to step up. Sisters, respect your brethren. Let's get it. So what I'm going to show, we talked about it on the campground. I'm going to show y'all the videos now. And it's happened a while back, and some of the videos I'm going to show you maybe happened 2 years ago, but we know how calculated these folks are. So this lesson going to get into the mark of the beast, the RFID chip. We all know what it is. Don't care what nobody talking about. It's the RFID chip. It ain't the virus. It ain't this. And you know what? Right now, as we know, they're resetting the economy. We've been saying this for a minute now, and I I believe we all will be able to exist for a little while with digital currency. Basically, we've been dealing with digital currency for a while now. Like it's I have to really think about going to the ATM and get some money. Like I don't carry money on me anymore. It's been a minute, you know. Um, but the digital currency is not the mark of the beast. So, but what I do believe is there will be, according to scriptures, a great exodus. In the midst of all this chaos and violence, there would be a great exodus like it was in Moses' day. It ain't the flea doctrine. It's not us getting our passports fleeing somewhere. Okay? Because Most High said when he do it, the whole earth would know. Okay? It would be, he said he will guide us. The whole earth would know. So we're going to read some stuff today that will refresh some of y'all minds, maybe correct some of y'all minds, because we read all the time about the kingdom. So when we read about the golden streets and stuff, that's not the millennial kingdom. That's not Christ's 1,000-year reign. I know some of y'all may believe that, but it's not. That kingdom comes after the last judgment. That's a reward. In Christ's kingdom, people will still be dying. Would he beautify our land? Yes. He promised to turn into springs the desert. So we're going to correct some of y'all minds and understand. And for edification, no elder nor myself on this earth know every action of what's coming in chronological order. We learned in parts. We learned in parts. We don't have all our records, and it's not revealed to us. But we do know of a great exodus, not again us getting the passports. So when those brothers are using those scriptures of those who flee, they fled. Ezra, Nehemiah, that generation. When you open up the book of Ezra and Nehemiah, it caused them to escape from Babylon. Okay? And they talked to the Most High's mighty works. Okay? Fleeing Babylon right now is fleeing paganism. The whole earth is, the Most High is not talking to a couple of his children. We're scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. So it's not saying flee America, because we're everywhere. He ain't talking to Judah. He ain't just talking to Gad. He's talking to Issachar. He's talking to all of us. Come out of her ways. Come back to his law. The whole earth is about to be punished. But the consolation of this lesson is edification and is confirmation that those who stand still for his laws will make it. If you believe that all scriptures are inspired of God, you must believe that. There's a class, a remnant that will make it. Even those who may lose their lives. And y'all know me for a long time. That's what all our mind has to be set on. Because you put your mind there, you won't fear. You won't fold. How long have I been talking about visualization? Since day one. We have to visualize ourselves going through it all, even dying. So we ain't shot. It's expected. So like the young son of the woman with the 7 sons says, what'd you wait for? Bring it on. But there's a God in heaven that's going to tear you out the frame. But me, he would bring back gloriously. And you, he should have no mercy. That has to be our mindset. Let's get it. So what I'm going to show is really a part of what it talks about in Revelation, where it says, and it gave power to the image, even the image of the beast that is spoke. Okay, what that's talking about is America passing laws that's in harmony with the papacy. That's against the laws of God. So they would pass these laws that were basically, we're gonna read it in the scriptures. They would pass these laws that the image will speak. Either you're gonna do what the papacy, who's controlled by Satan, do what they say, or suffer death. Get that? So we're gonna show you that when the truckers went on strike up in Canada, we're showing one of the reasons why they're changing everything digital. Because first of all, Satan said he'd be like the Most High. Okay? The Most High sees all things. He has 7 angels that go to and fro throughout the earth, see everything and report everything. And the Most High has angels on top of angels on top of angels on top of angels on top of angels reporting. Okay? But these 7 in particular is what Satan is trying to duplicate. Total access to people. Control. So, you dope boys, your time is coming, about to be cut short. I don't know how y'all gonna hustle, but you know, when money is obsolete, I know eventually the black market may do what they normally been doing for centuries, but it's gonna be rough on y'all. You know, because all currency will be digital, and we're gonna show you that. Like for example, in this video, when the government got tired of the protesters, they froze their bank accounts and suspended the truck driving company's insurance. Like I said over the campfire, without insurance, a truck company cannot book a load. You cannot work without insurance. You cannot work without access to your capital. So all that talk got silenced. So showing you that they have passed these laws for doing this. For example, what I'm doing right now is considered law in their law as hate speech. Many of us be thrown in prison for doing what I'm doing right now. And many of us, we boasting all this and saying this and with big talk. But when they freeze your account or take your money out, when they press the button and you got no access to your money, many people who say they are servants of the Most High will fold and submit to Lucifer. So this is a little foreshadowing of what's to come. Which is why it ties in with the Feast of Tabernacles, because my people, we really have to get in this book and learn who the Most High really is, so that we can put our everything. We can love Him with all our might and all our heart, and put our total trust in Him, because Satan don't love none of us. Let's get it. The black mic. Where the black mic at? The water.
Well, Chinese authorities have developed a new surveillance tool. It's called the gait recognition. It's a software that can identify people using their body shapes and how they walk, even if your face is hidden from a camera.
Pause it.
This is already, in fact, being
fair use.
So we're going to show right now what they're doing over in Canada right now. Because, since COVID, everybody got masks on, so you can't tell who's who. They got technology that they're experimenting with right now that's identifying people based on how they walk. So no matter you cover your face up or not, they got you.
Testing.
Let's
Testing.
Let's get it.
Well, Chinese authorities have developed a new surveillance tool. It's called the gait recognition. It's a software that can identify people using their body shapes and how they walk, even if your face is hidden from a camera. This is already, in fact, being used by police in China, and it's raising a lot of concerns about how far this technology will go and how deep will this deep brother thing go in the country. Joining me now to discuss Wall Street Journal, Jillian Melcher, Danielle DiMartino Booth is back with us as well. All right, so they've got a lot of different programs in place, but another thing they have is called the social credit system, and it doesn't allow you to be a bad citizen. It's going to go into place in 2020, but already I've read that they've generated 7 million punishments. So this is sort of the scary stuff. We've read about it for a long time, but it's coming into existence.
Yeah, I think this is new totalitarianism, and we've got to put this in a historical context. I mean, you can imagine what this kind of technology would be used under a Lenin or a Mao. Unfortunately, the trajectory of human rights and freedom in China is going the wrong way. We've seen Xi Jinping in many ways take plays out of Mao's playbook. So I think this is incredibly disturbing, and it's a time for American leadership. If we're not concerned about human rights and freedom, I think the trajectory is going the wrong way.
You know, Danielle, the system would rate trustworthiness. So there's citizens. Imagine as Chinese citizens, and it's a wide variety of factors, what you buy, how you spend your time, if you jaywalk, if you smoke on a train, if you criticize the government, even a family or friends. I mean, this is...
It's going to track what apps you're on your phone. It is Big Brother writ large, and if you think about the steps that Venezuela, Russia, and China are taking to implement their own cryptocurrencies, by 2020, I suspect they will be able to track their citizens' every economic move. I mean, the disparagement of economic freedom, of personal liberty. I mean, just when you think that China is so strong and it clamps down so much, if there's an economic slowdown coming, they're going to have to maintain social order. And if they're using this technology to do it, it scares me even more.
And of course, there's a bigger macro battle between democracies and totalitarianism, which is gaining popularity around the world. Some countries are actually voting this in, democratically.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'll come back to the point. I think this is why American leadership is so important. We're seeing this in China be rolled out, particularly with religious minorities. In Xinjiang province, targeting the Muslims there, the Uyghur Muslims. We're seeing this used against Christians in many cases. And I think this is an opportunity for the U.S. to show leadership on this.
What can we do to slow it down, to curb it? I mean, what could we do as a nation?
Well, I mean, I think the Trump administration has had some success with sanctions, but I think bringing this up, saying the names of people who are being persecuted, bringing up dissidents, making this an issue along with trade, along with our economic success, because this is something that really matters. You know,
Sure.
I think free countries are more likely to be peaceful countries.
Yeah, listen, I think as we're in the middle of this trade war, this should be a key consideration, and not just opening your markets, but making sure you don't arrest 1 million people because they're Muslims and put them in these concentration camps, because I don't know that we really want to do business with a country like that.
Of course we don't want to do business with a country like that. But if you saw
Fair
the latest
use.
trade deficit figures, China's 55% of the trade deficit. That's the biggest portion ever on record. So to me, it's going to make both sides in the trade war battle dig their heels in ahead of the G20 at the end of the month. And we already know that China is reeling, that its manufacturing sectors at the lowest level since 2011. I get worried when their economy slows because it makes their leadership more desperate to control their people.
You agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. For a long time, China's had kind of a pact with its people. We give you economic success and you give us your freedom instead, your political freedom. And I think that, when the Chinese economy is struggling, that's when you really see Beijing getting paranoid.
That's when the Faustian deal comes home to roost.
Yeah, it really
right?
is.
Yeah.
Scary stuff.
You study the Fed, you study monetary policy and the trends. How do we adjust for this, particularly if they have this sort of, it's already Potemkin cities, right? Ghost cities, towns. I mean, there's already so many lies in the data they put out to the rest of the world. But if they're actually beating down on their people, they're actually, taking away their freedoms and rights, how could you ever accurately measure their economy?
It's very difficult to do. I mean, there are some analysts who are on the ground who come up with their own independent analyses that actually show how much the economy is slowing right now. And the Chinese leadership has been hoping for years now that they would be able to segue towards, ironically, a more American type of economy, domestic-led consumption.
Sure.
And if they can't turn that corner while manufacturing is slowing, again, my greatest concern is that they're going to use their currency as one of their last remaining pieces of ammunition. They can't go after our treasuries.
Right.
They would lose
Fair
billions of
use.
dollars.
Real quick, Jillian, before we go, any signs you think that someday we may have to grapple with these issues too? I believe at some point we may, maybe not to this degree, but it's a technology that would look enticing to a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all creeped out a little bit about what Facebook and Google can do. But the really important thing to keep in mind is the U.S. needs to have a presence on the world stage because this isn't just China. Beijing is going to export this technology.
Right. Ladies, thank you both very much.
Thank
Jillian,
you.
Danielle, great conversation.
Now, we know that everybody that's talking was put there and everything was scripted. So they're just playing both sides of the fence, but we know it's coming here. And they're blaming China like they're the bad people, but we know that America is getting prepared for the same exact technology. Okay? One world order. Next video. Hold that. I'm pause, hopefully. Go ahead.
If you're a fan of the BBC television series Spooks, you may recall a recent episode in which the British Security Service remotely identifies a man on the street
Now, the
from
British is on
CCTV footage based on the characteristics of his walk. Every one of us has a distinctive way of walking, which could be used for recognition at a distance.
Fair use.
In reality, gait recognition technology cannot yet automatically pick up someone from a crowd with 100% certainty. At the National Physical Laboratory, we've been developing a system in which biometric gait recognition can help security operatives in tracking the position of individuals as they move through a monitored area. The system demonstrates the use of gait recognition in a real environment and is integrated with a 3D model able to show the current and previous locations a person has visited. This work is part of...
You know, it makes sense now, how everything goes hand in hand. This 2.5 year experiment where everybody wearing masks. They also, in my mind, was testing this technology. It makes sense, don't it? Yes, sister.
I watched the video where they were saying that with everybody that went to Disney World and Disneyland, all those different places, that's what they was doing. They was getting their eyes, and, the way they walk, they were doing the same thing. And all the other areas, different places where families go, they was digital, getting them a digital.
Yep. Beta testing. It makes sense. Let's go.
project called VSAR, Viewers, Situational and Spatial Awareness for Applied Risk and Reasoning. The project, which is supported by the Technology Strategy Board, is a collaboration between leading players in an emerging technology, including CAST, the Centre for Advanced Software Technology, the BBC, British Aerospace, and ourselves, NPL. The National Physical Laboratory is the UK's National Measurement Institute and is a world-leading centre of excellence in developing and applying the most accurate measurement standards to science and technology. Let us show you the tool we've developed to be applied in security. A computer-aided design of NPL has been used to create a 3D model of the NPL building. This is then combined with video feed from cameras placed around NPL. The result is a bit like navigating around a computer game. The VSAR model shows positions of the CCTV cameras, the field of view of each camera, the gate recognition points, and can show live feed from CCTV cameras at the camera locations in the building. Let's see the system in operation. A visitor arrives at NPL car park. As he walks towards the entrance, he's viewed by the security cameras and a gate signature is recorded. The system operator sees that the visitor is inside the building and can ask the system to identify whether the person has been at other locations. In this case, the system reports that it has recorded a person with a matching gate signature on 3 previous occasions. The operator can examine images of the previous sightings, the time they were made, and their locations in the building. The results show the visitor outside the entry to the building, inside the building where the gate recognition was just requested. In addition, the results reveal that the same person has also crossed the bridge from one part of the building to another. We'll now explain a little about how a gate signature is created in our system. As the person walks along the corridor, each frame of the video feed is processed to separate a walking subject from the background. From the combined silhouettes, we can see that the head height rises and falls as part of the natural cycle of walking. This is used to select a single gate cycle for generating the gate signature.
Fair use.
We can measure the person's height, since the mathematical relationship between a point in the image and the positions in the real world is computed when the cameras are set up. We can also measure the stride length. A gate signature is generated from all the silhouettes in the gate cycle. The gate signature can be represented by a set of numbers. Every time a person walks, they produce a similar set of numbers which can be used for recognition. Ultimately, this provides a security system that combines real-time video and automated biometric recognition. It presents results in an interactive and intuitive 3D model, and which provides the security control room with a better spatial understanding of events and locations than could be achieved with a wall of seemingly unrelated cameras.
Okay. No, we're going to go to the Bible. We get other videos in a minute. Let's turn to Isaiah chapter 14. Show you how it's relative. It's relative.
Isaiah chapter 14, verses 12 through 15.
Sister Sharona, I truly in my heart believe that's why I said it's really dear to my heart to finish this race. Like my biggest fear has been a castaway. I guess that's why I say I'm not playing with this. This is my life. I got souls on the line, based on my walk. So I thoroughly understand.
Con, when everyone's there.
But thank you for that, though. Let's get it. Isaiah 14.
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.
Satan desires to be like the Most High, right? Meaning, for one, to have the whole world worship him. Okay? That's one aspect of it. Let's get Proverbs chapter 15, verse...
I missed verse 15.
Oh, get 15.
Verse 15. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit.
So it's showing you right now that the God of this world will be drugged down to the pits of hell. He will not be successful. So there's no need to fear him. Proverbs chapter 15, verse 3. like I've been saying for a long time, we're not to fear him, but respect him. You gotta respect him. If you don't respect Satan, you are in error. You're deceiving yourselves, because he's. You better respect him, or your pride will be your downfall. We need the Most High to defend ourselves against this beast, this creature.
Proverbs chapter 15, verse 3. The eyes of the Most High are in every place, beholding the evil and the good.
See, he'd be like the Most High. The Most High eyes is in every place. Satan is creating a system through technology to be like the Most High, seeing everything men do. You get it? His eyes are in every place, seeing good and evil. That's what Satan is duplicating through technology. Okay? He's not the Most High, so we have to use technology to mimic. Next precept.
Job chapter 34, verse 21. Calm when everyone's there.
Shabbat Shalom, Milka. Ain't no hug today? That's how it is? Oh, okay, now you're putting headlock. See, I say headlock. I'm going to start calling like Bill how to chokehold. Let's get it.
Job chapter 34, verse 21. For his eyes are upon the ways of man, and he seeth all his goings.
His eyes are on the ways of man. He sees all his goings. Again, that's what Satan is creating. Next precept.
Hebrews chapter 4, verse 13. Calm when everyone's there. Hebrews chapter 4, verse 13. Neither is there any creature that is not manifest in his sight, but all things are naked and open unto the eyes of him with whom we have to do.
Exactly. So, again, it's showing you, the government is going to, like, did you hear it? They have, through this brief experiment, they have already punished 7 million crimes.
Yep.
For those who understand, that's a lot of money. So they're going to bring it out, roll it out as they're making the world safe, when they're the real criminals. Like I said, like in one case, the guy jaywalked, and before he crossed the street, he was already fined, took the money out of his account, everything. So that's what I'm trying to say. They about to have total control. When we get to the mark of the beast, this is what the Most High saw when he wrote. He had John write this. This is the world that the Most High saw. They're going to fulfill this right here. Yes, sister.
They just had the summit 2022 where they merged Catholicism, Judaism, and Islam. So now they call it Christline.
Yep. That would be brought out. Thanks for bringing that. Bring that out in a minute, because when we get into the beast, that's what it's dealing with. Okay. Let's get it.
Next precept. Zechariah chapter 4, verse 10. Calm when everyone's there.
I'll read this right here. I'm going to read the latter part. I'm going to start with those seven spirits. They are the eyes of Ahayah, which run to and fro through the whole earth. So again, Satan is mimicking what he knows from the Father. How his Father operates, he's mimicking it so that he can control with fear God's creation. Do you understand that? With fear, total control, God's creation. Because this whole system is built off what? Money. We work, get a paycheck, and that's how we buy. That's how we provide for ourselves. That's how we put clothes on our back, food in our bellies. So when your means of survival is controlled, it will cause many to bend the knee. Okay? And compromise and take this chip. Let's precept.
Revelation chapter 13, verses 1 and 2.
Bill, I done mastered it now. When the coffee made, while we singing and praying, open up that top, let that thing cool off. Yep. By the time we get done praying, put it back on there, it's perfect. Yep. No more burnt tongues. I'm telling you, I done mastered it. Let's get it.
Revelation chapter 13, verse 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
When it talks about the sea of waters, it's talking about nations of people. Okay? It's not talking about this water. It's coming out of people. So this is people. Okay? Read.
Having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy.
Now, this is the Roman Empire. Okay? As we know, it's well known that even people who don't believe what we believe know that this is talking about Rome. It's the city that's surrounded by 7 hills. Okay? So the Most High is prophetically giving us pictures of who he's talking about. Let's get it.
Verse 2. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority.
So who's giving these Romans, these Caucasians, the Pope, the son of perdition, authority, even his seat? The dragon, right? Let's get Revelation 12:9 and see who this dragon is.
Revelation chapter 12, verse 9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil, and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
So this adversary, which he was cast out, but he wasn't cast out alone. A third of the angels came with him and set up their kingdom. So it's showing you that the God of this world that gave the Caucasians, so-called Caucasians, Edomites, their position, their authority, even his seat. So when you look on the dollar bill and they say, "In God we trust," this is the God that they're talking about. As I said 2 weeks ago, how they really function, how in their capitalistic society, gold, oil, and drugs. Those are their 3 major commodities that they have created an empire upon. Okay, but Satan is their God, according to the Most High. So for anybody that's a Christian, I want you to really understand something. Because, see, so-called black people are too nearsighted. Meaning that when you think of Christianity, you think being a Christian is what it looks like when you go to church. Brother, Google one time for me how many Christians in the world. I know it was like 3 billion something, right? They guesstimate 3.7 billion. There ain't 3.7 billion black people on this earth. Okay? So, when you consider yourself a Christian, I'm speaking about the so-called Black Baptists, okay? Those who go to the so-called black churches, my people, they ain't the real face of Christianity. Christianity is, for the millionth time, a Roman religion. It don't even. It's like what they have done to us in society. They put us in ghettos. Well, they put y'all in y'all little churches and call it the black church, because a white Baptist church and a black church, Baptist church are totally different. If you try to go to the white Baptist church, go experiment for yourself and see if you're welcome. If you get any kind of feeling inside that you're not, how can it be of Christ? Because you're not. But they're giving you your little harlot houses or temple houses, idol temples in your ghettos. But you can get your singing on, your dancing on. But Christianity is a white religion. The doctrines come from the Jewish people, not from your black pastors. They have to answer to the white man. Look at it for yourself. But we've been deceived that it's a black thing. No, it ain't.
They got an update that said 2022 is 2.56 billion people, but they said about 2025 it'll be back up to 3.33 billion.
Okay. Wilson, I will get to your question at the end of this lesson, okay? I'm going to stick to the script right now. But I have no problem explaining what you're talking about. So, I'm just trying to make it make sense, because the Bible says that the God of the people that you learn from is Satan. The Pope is the head of that religion. All Christianity comes up under the umbrella of Catholicism. We're going to show you that. When it says they worship the beast is the papacy. You say, well, I'm not a Catholic, but you worship the beast. You're going to Sunday worship. You're not honoring the Sabbath. You're not honoring the Feast of Tabernacles today. Don't know nothing about the Feast of Tabernacles. Because you don't serve the God of all gods, the God of the Hebrews. The God that created heaven and earth and all that's therein. And I'm not bad-mouthing, slandering. I'm just speaking facts, my people. It's dealing with the Romans right now. The Romans are Edomites. Edomites are white people. Go look up for yourself. Go look up the Jewish Encyclopedia. They will tell you that they're Edomites. And their God is Satan. Jehovah is their God. Jehovah is Satan. Yahweh, Baal, the same God that Israel fell to in the wilderness. The same God Israel is serving right now. The same God Christians are serving right now is the same God we fell to in the wilderness. Baal, Lucifer. The Most High says this. I'm going to show you. So this is not element. What I'm saying are not my words. I'm going to back it all up through precepts as the Bible commands. Okay? Let's get it.
Next precept, Revelation chapter 13, verses 3 through 15. Verse 3 reads, and I saw one of his heads, as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wandered after the beast, and they worshiped the dragon which gave power unto the beast.
So it said all the world worship the who?
The beast.
The beast, what?
And they worshiped the dragon.
And they worship the dragon, Satan.
Which gave power unto the beast.
Which gave power to the Roman papacy. Those are his children, his servants. They're the tare, not the wheat. Read.
And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshiped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. And power was given unto him to continue 42 months.
So let's stop right there. Let's get this one argument. Get back to the script. Let me see. Let me see.
Is it a video or article?
It's an article right here. Okay. So this is from, now it's not just the Awakening Highlands Church to believe this. Worldwide, people have the same belief concerning who is talking about. Let's get it. Yeah. What wounded the papacy? No. Let's start. Let's get it. Let's read it.
Okay.
Where's this from?
Ministrymagazine.org. Healing the Deadly Wound. Is this from November 1934?
Yep.
November of 1934. I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wandered after the beast. Revelation chapter 13, verse 3. Assuming that the wounded head refers to the papacy, let us consider the method of its wounding. The wound could not have been inflicted alone by the capture and deposition of Pope Pius VI by General Berthier in 1798.
The French did imprison him, who was ruling. Read.
Otherwise, the election of Pius VII in 1799 would have constituted its healing. Rather, the papacy was wounded by a series of stabbings over a period of 300 years, beginning with the Reformation and culminating with the imprisonment of the Pope in 1798. What wounded the papacy? There were 5 significant developments in the process. Number 1, the discovery in the Bible of the true way of salvation, justification by faith, and the growth among the common people of implicit confidence in the Bible as the Word of God. Number 2, the gradual alienation of its one-time political friends, such as Austria, the German states, France, and England, through both political and religious causes. Number 3, the passing of penal laws against its followers and the proscription of its secret societies. Number 4, the growth of democracy. And number 5, the final violent overthrow by the armies of France. How would the wound be healed? Obviously, by the reversal of the conditions that brought about its wounding. Number 1, by loss of faith in the Bible as God's word through the rise of evolution, materialism, and the new paganism, and thus the passing of the protest from Protestantism. Number 2, by the renewal of its political friendships. Number 3, by the repeal of the penal laws against its members and secret agents. Number 4, by the passing of democracy. And number 5, by the restoration of the kingship of the Pope. It is scarcely necessary to demonstrate that these 5 happenings rank among the supreme events of the last 130 years. But how have they occurred? Suddenly or gradually? As the study of the history of this period reveals, 4 phases in papal recovery. Recovery. 1798 through 1870. Condition serious. During this period, the papacy suffered continual buffetings.
Buffeting is afflictions.
Pius VII, for instance, was taken prisoner by a French general in 1809 and did not see Rome again until 1814. Moreover, there was the gradual loss of the papal states and finally of the temporal power, Nevertheless, from time to time, it revealed definite signs of renewed life. Referring to 1798, Hayward's History of the Popes says, from this time onward, the history of the popes enter upon a new phase, which by a logical sequence of events have brought the papacy to the position it holds today. Page 334. Among the signs of life during this period might be mentioned the reestablishment of the order of Jesuits.
Jesuits are the killers, the soldiers, okay? When they sent out, okay? They're the assassins, right? The ones who they use to change the name of the Most High from Ahayah to Lord, okay? Let's get it.
In 1814, by Pius VII, the Catholic Emancipation Act in England in 1829, followed by the Oxford movement and the revival of the Roman Catholic hierarchy. Then in 1870 came the Vatican Council, the decree.
These are all laws that they're putting in place to what? Restore their power. Read.
The decree of infallibility and the dawn of the next phase. 1871 through 19.
So the government can't punish the popes or their priests. It's all dealt in house. They can fine them, but they can't punish them. Okay? It's all dealt in house. All the molestation, all that is all taken care of in house. Read.
1871 through 1917, Stowe convalescing. During this period, the papacy was quietly regaining influence, encouraged by the increasing deterioration of Protestantism. By its progress was retarded by the World War, when tens of thousands of Catholics were slain in all armies. 1918 through 1928, rapid recuperation. The papacy was now seized the opportunity created by the spiritual confusion caused by the Great War, and posing as the one true church, marched on to many victories, pressing its claim with its old-time audacity. To this end, it inaugurated Eucharistic congresses in several strategic centers. 1929 through 1934. Vigorous health and power. This has been evidenced by a series of extraordinarily important events. Number one, the settling of the Roman question, leading to proclamation of the Pope as king.
As who?
Proclamation of the Pope as king.
And for all those who don't understand the significance of the Queen of England, okay, because like Satan, it says his greatest trick was to believe that he don't exist, right? Well, his seat, the greatest trick is believe that it's not really a power, it's just a name. Well, these people rule the world through religion, through the city of Vatican. The Vatican is just like Washington, D.C. It has no country or nothing has sovereign over it or government power over it. The Romans ruled the world religiously through the city of Vatican. They ruled the world through military might through Washington, D.C. That's why Washington, D.C. is really not a part of America. Okay, it's ran by the Queen. So even though people don't think that she's not a real figure, that house run the world with other families. Okay, let's get it.
Number two, proclamation of the Pope as king. Number three, recovery of temporal power.
Who do the presidents bow the knee to? The Pope. Pope is king, and the Queen of England is the queen. Okay? But as we know, in Satan's system, as many people are getting deceived by this movie that's out called The Woman King. Okay? There was such thing of a woman king. Okay, but in Satan's system, I'm not bashing women, but Satan used women to run his system, along with men. But let's go.
Number 3, recovery of temporal power in the creation of the Vatican State and receipt from Italian government
Recovery of temporal power in the creation of the Vatican State. Understand what that means? Read.
receipt from Italian government of millions in cash, inauguration of intense propaganda in Protestant countries and in all mission fields, exchange of diplomatic representative with almost all civilized countries, signing of concordats with many nations, removal of almost the last of Catholic disabilities in England, overthrow of socialism in Austria by a Catholic caucus. And number 10, rise of theories of government favorable to Catholic principles.
So they're passing laws. That's why when you hear the Pope, the Pope is against the Most High. And all the laws that they're passing are in harmony with the Roman Catholic Church. They are the ones who they go to for spiritual guidance. Okay, read.
Looking over this amazing catalog of events, one cannot but admit that the deadly wound is now so completely healed that the papacy is able, when it deems the hour propitious, to accomplish the final acts predicted of it in the prophetic word. Watford, England.
Yeah. I'm going to read something. No, let's go. This is Bible. Where we at? Revelations?
Yep, 13. I think we're on verse 6.
Okay, let's go.
Revelation chapter 13, verse 6. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against the Most High, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven.
So is that not what the papacy has done and is doing? They changed the Sabbath from Saturday to Sunday. They got the whole world following pagan holidays, not the holy days of the Most High God. They get the whole world eating whatever they want to eat and not sticking to the Most High's dietary law. When it comes to morality, there's none. Right? It's through them that comes the belief that God is a God of love. You're covered by the blood of Jesus. Blasphemies, great swelling words, prideful words against the Most High.
God.
Everything that they teach is against the Most High. Their doctrine, idolatry. Thou shalt not form any graven images. What do you see with Roman Catholic Church?
Thousands of them.
Thousands of them.
Huh.
They're abominable to the Most High. Yes, sister.
I was just gonna ask, what is the papacy? Is it anybody? Before we get too far, anybody against, like with the Roman Catholic Church, or anybody just against the Most High's teachings or anything?
What is the papacy? Let's do it for you, so you get their definition. But you just answered it though. But let's get it. Let's go to the Webster. Papacy. They spell it P-A-C-Y. The office of the Pope, a succession or line of popes, a term of a pope's reign. So the papacy is what we're seeing. That's the king. That's Satan's mouthpiece. Okay? Through him, they form what they call Catholicism is also known as a universal religion. And that's what its goal has always been. Right? For Satan to combine all his religions into one. So there need no more being in the closet, behind the closed scenes, but out in the front, and where the whole world will make a decision what God they're going to serve. Okay, that's what we're gonna get into this chip to show you what it really is. Okay, but let's get it.
Verse 7, Revelation chapter 13. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds.
So the Most High has allowed Satan to give his best shot to his saints. So he's going to afflict the saints, those who keep the Most High's laws, Israel, that keep his laws, statutes, commandments, and the testimony or doctrine of Christ. Read.
And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb.
So Catholicism, Christianity, none of, under the whole umbrella, none of those many religions who are all up under the same umbrella, teach and keep the Most High's laws, statutes, commandments, and judgments. It's our holy days. You got some that may keep the Sabbath, but it's more than one Sabbath. All his holy days are Sabbaths. They're not keeping the 4 categories of his law: moral, civil, dietary, ceremonial. So if you're not wholeheartedly doing that, you're not in the Lamb's Book of Life. So it's showing you that the whole world, no matter if you're a Muslim, New Age religion, conscious movement, atheists, Egyptology, Buddhists, it don't matter what the name of your religion is. The Most High say you are worshiping the devil. So if your pastor have taught you that the laws are done away with, he is of the devil and has made you twice the child of hell. The Most High saying the whole world, except for a few, are serving the devil. Now, we just reading from the Bible. Read that again, brother, so they don't get confused.
Verse 8. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose name...
All that dwell upon the earth shall worship the dragon,
whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. And he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him.
Here's America, United States of America.
And
exercising what?
And he exercises all the power of the first beast.
All the power of the papacy. Okay? Who's the world power so-called? Who's the so-called world power right now? America. Read.
And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast.
That causes the whole earth to worship
the first beast.
The papacy. Do you get it now? They're hand in the hand. That's why all the religious leaders you see are bending the knee to the Pope. Where's Sister Leviah go?
Here she comes.
Bring out what you were saying with the microphone.
It's back there, I think.
I think 7 days ago they were in Dubai, and they had a conference with with Catholicism, Islam, and Judaism, converting it all to one world religion. So now I guess the religion is called Sabbatian.
Sabbatian.
Yeah, that's the new religion now.
So they're They're combining. What did it say? It did what? It caused the what?
And causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast.
So you're showing that Satan is through America. What is combining all his religions unto the rule or headship of the Pope?
Con.
Yes, sister.
And they said it has been codified and ratified, so that means it's
official.
It's official.
This is what the Most High saw, and Most High don't lie. He's showing us thousands of years ago how it would be in the end.
Con.
Okay? Read.
And causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast.
So no matter, that's why I said, you call yourself a Christian, Protestant, Muslim, you don't believe in God, whatever it is, you are serving Satan.
Con.
Jehovah's Witness, it don't matter. Yes, sister. Microphone, sister.
Says coming in peace and safety, and it's like nowhere through the video did it say anything about Christ. Nothing. That's just a new religion is all about peace and safety.
Blasphemy.
Con.
How can evildoers bring peace?
Con.
It says for the wicked there is no peace.
Con.
Their heart lieth in wait for the righteous.
Con.
The only peace that they will have is eradicating the righteous, because that's their enemy. The Most High and the Most High's true servants. That's who the wicked enemies are. That's who the Pope, because we are the ones who will speak against their nonsense, their evilness, their wickedness. So their peace comes from eradicating the wicked, according to the Bible. That's why it says that Satan went to make war with those who keep God's commandments in the testimony of the Messiah. His own people. Read.
And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men.
And Christ warned us that, that there are going, and Levi, I'm glad you said peace and safety. That's part of a precept. But just like in Moses' time, Satan, through his ministers, performed miracles. And this time, they will perform miracles. Christ warns of these signs, these great wonders that will be done. Read.
Verse 14. And he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast.
So it's showing you that Satan, through these people, will be performing great miracles, great signs in the earth. The Most High is saying this, but it's not coming from the Most High. So through these miracles and great works, men will believe in this beast, this religion, these people. Read.
Saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live.
Now, show the image of the Baphomet. This is not. The image is deeper than the picture. I'm gonna show you the Baphomet. All right, that's the image that is well accepted. But the image is deeper than the picture. Okay. The image is also the laws that they would implement into their system that are against the laws of God. Read.
Verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast.
See, he had power to give life. The laws are what that would be passed and that are passed, that they just they have not started executing yet, gives life to it. So a person like myself will be arrested, killed. It giving life to this image, to these laws. Yes, sister. No.
just a few days ago, me and my daughter was in the bathroom at an airport, and she had told me she was scared to come out the stall because it was a man up in there, but he presented himself as a woman. But he was like, he wasn't even dressed as a woman, but he's a woman.
Hey, it's a Sodom and Gomorrah the Great. It's a Satan system. We're at the end. Changing of kind. It's here. These are the laws that they're passing. This is Sodom and Gomorrah the Great. This is the blasphemies. These are what the Most High is talking about. Okay? Through this beast, all these things, you talking about this man being in the woman's bathroom and the little girl's in the bathroom with a grown man, talking about it's a woman, that's blasphemy. That's wicked. It's against the laws of God. That's what he's talking about. This is how this earth is. Hey, the locust is out. The demons are out. Read.
Verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak.
The image can't speak, but them laws can. See? Their strength will be in their laws. It should speak. The law says what we're doing is hate speech. The judgment of that is imprisonment or death. It will go back into the time of the Maccabees. They will make it against the law to profess ourselves. It's unwritten law right now for us to profess ourselves a Jew and to keep Sabbath. Right now, somebody entertaining profess themselves a Jew, the old Jewish people on the airplane coming. Or sending you on the airplane to reprimand you and threaten your finances. Read.
That the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
You hear that? So these laws will be passed to put the righteous in a position to either serve the Most High or be killed. That's what I said earlier. Many people call themselves pastors and elders and servants of the Most High. Israelites will fold under this right here. Read that part again, that last part. These laws will do what?
And cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast.
To worship means to obey.
Should be killed.
If you don't obey papacy, America or papacy, you shall be killed. Make sense? So going back to what this day is, it's the closing day of the Feast of Tabernacles. Remember, the Most High is our tabernacle. He's our shade of protection. He's our buckler, our weapon of defense. Read.
Next precept, Matthew chapter 24, verses 21 through 24.
Let's get it out the Messiah's mouth. Yes.
What Sister Ty had said, I remember a few years back, I was in Indiana. We was at a restaurant. The same thing happened. So this was maybe, I say 5 years ago. Big old man, looked like a dude. Went into the girl's bathroom. I'm like, hold on. You what is he doing? Like, Moo gotta go in there. And I'm just waiting. I gotta walk by the bathroom too, because I don't trust. It was strange. I never seen that happen before. But he said he was a lady, but he was big.
Big old buff Hulk Hogan looking dude.
Yeah.
Talking about he a woman.
I couldn't believe that. Never seen that before. Matthew chapter 24, verse 21.
After right. You started? Okay.
Verse 21 reads, For then shall be great tribulation.
For then shall be great tribulations. You think the time we just read about aren't great tribulations? Take it back to the Maccabees these days, right? With those great tribulations? Snatching babies off the breast, cast them down to the earth, crushing them.
Con.
Burning men and women alive. Cutting them asunder for keeping God's laws. Does not sound like the same thing is at hand?
Con.
That's why I'm telling you. This ain't nothing to play with. This ain't Christian church. I'm telling y'all, I mean, some of y'all coming here, this will be sitting down and eat. What?
Keep going,
I'm serious. The Bible says if you're hungry, eat at home. It shouldn't need a purpose. You come to church for to eat and it's to see people. We come here to be edified, to build our faith and confidence in the Most High. Because this day is at hand, people. I mean, I'm just reading prophecy. I'm not a prophet. I'm a servant. This is, I mean, we say, you see something 5 years ago. She seen it a couple days ago. It's at a rapid pace. It's coming. The Most High is telling us what we're reading is at hand. I mean, that's why it says here's where the patience of the saints come in, because here's where the endurance, the stamina, the patience, the wisdom of the saints, because they will listen and take heed to this. It's our preparing themselves and come here to learn, to gird up, to be recharged, to go back out into the world.
The real food.
Come on. Let's get it.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time.
So if you believe in the Messiah, these are his words. The Messiah ain't saying, okay, 2 years from now, a year from now, when they vote for a new president, it's going to be all good. That ain't what he's saying. These laws and all this technology that they're building, these robot soldiers, are for a purpose. I'm going to be honest with y'all. Do y'all really, we're going to read this out of the Apocrypha today. What do you think the robot soldiers are really for? Okay, to kill us. That's true. In a part, sister, that's partly true. I start off this lesson talking about those who rule this earth know our God, his prophecy, and his prophecies are true. They're creating technology not just to destroy us. They're trying to prepare for the coming of the Messiah and his angels. Seriously. Read.
For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened.
So Christ is saying that, hey, every day that passes is going to get worse. So no matter what man, keep reading.
Verse 23. Then if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is Christ.
Here is Messiah. So let me get it from here.
Come on.
Here is Messiah. Right? Or there, believe it not. Messiah means expected king and deliverer of the Jews. Or here's a redeemer. Here's our savior. This beast is coming in the form of a Christ, of a Messiah.
Huh?
It says what? Peace. It will provide peace and safety.
Safety. Come.
What Messiah is going to bring to the righteous? Peace and safety. Many false messiahs shall come. Believe it not. Put your hand up. Microphone.
I was looking up when you was talking about the robot. The newest satellite that they just put up in space is called the Landsat 9.
Put up in where?
In space.
Space? Where's
In
space?
space. Well, you know what they call space. And it says to extend the 50-year continuous record of the global imagery that they collected since 1972. So they just launched that to see if they can see Christ, of course, when he coming back.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure out what space is. Yeah, the Bible say nothing about no space. It's the under the firmament. We call it orbit. Okay, but anyway, again, they're going to try many things. They've been trying to crack the firmament forever. They can't. It's a spirit. Okay. No matter what they try, the Messiah said when he come, the whole earth gonna know. So they can peep all they want to peep. And when he come, your eyes be wide open. The sea is coming. Read.
Verse 24. For there shall arise false messiahs and false prophets.
False messiahs and false prophets. See, the papacy has its false prophets, convincing these religions to teach the religious so-called people to follow the beast. You see? The pastors are what? In harmony with the papacy. The papacy is these pastors' daddy. They gonna do what daddy say, then they gonna convince you to do what daddy say. That's what the Bible saying, to cause what? As many that are not written in the Lamb's book of life to worship the beast. That would be like coming, the Most High said when they suddenly start teaching, saying peace and safety, know that sudden destruction is at hand. So when they come in the form of saying they bringing peace and safety, it ain't peace and safety for you because the Bible says they hate us. And I ain't never seen an enemy bring peace to his enemy.
Definitely not safety.
And not safety. It's talking about them. What Joe Biden said about 30 years, 20 years ago about so-called black folk. Called us super predators. He didn't want them in his mama's neighborhood. Lock them up. Even admit it. We don't care. We know that we created this situation. Let them, don't reform them. Let them rot in prison. So the same people don't have our peace and safety at heart. Okay? Read. Microphone.
I was just gonna, because I remember
Speaking to the mic.
I remember the peace and safety was mentioned before, and I just found the scripture that said that has that in there. It's 1 Thessalonians 5:3, where it says.
Get it 1 Thessalonians 5:3.
Oh, okay. About peace and safety.
First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3. Ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober.
Let us not sleep as others,
but let us watch and be sober.
Watch and be circumspect. Don't fall asleep by these false prophets and these false messiahs who prophesy lies in the name of the Messiah. 1 Thessalonians 5:3.
Oh, I read.
It's cool. Read it. That's all. And get it.
Verse 1. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of Messiah so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say, peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child.
So when they say peace and safety, the pain that's coming to us is as a woman in travail with birth pains.
And they shall not escape.
And they should not escape. They will get recompensed. Let's get it.
Back to Matthew chapter 24, verse 24. For there shall arise false messiahs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders.
And shall show great signs and wonders. What does it say in the book of Revelation? Through these miracles, they will believe. Through these great signs that Satan will give them the power to do, the people will believe. Christ says, don't. Then Paul said, what? Let us watch and be circumspect. Consider our every action and consequence for our actions. Consider the Most High in all our ways, to serve him with fear and trembling. Tremble at him, not what man is going to bring to the table or to the forefront. Read.
And false messiahs, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect.
So that's why I said earlier, you gotta respect Satan, but not fear him. Do you see what Christ has said? That beast, that demon is so out cold in deception. It says that if it was possible, he could deceive the elect. Those who stand stiff for God will even marvel at it. Understand, the whole world will fall to this beast. Hand up, microphone.
Is it safe to say that we are taught that the Messiah is not coming to do works and wonders when he come back?
That's what it says to watch.
Our sign to know that it's the false.
That's what it said. If you say he over there, no, he ain't him. Because when he come. Yes, sister. Microphone, please.
He said when he come, it'd be like a thief in the night. So who knows?
Right. And when he comes, it's not going to all happen overnight. Like how we read, he comes with angels and boom, boom. It's a process of time. Okay? Because the Most High said in other records that he's going to give nations who never knew him or us or who had done anything to us an opportunity to serve the Messiah. Okay? So it's not he come, boom, all the wicked is destroyed and righteous not. It's a process of time. He will lead us into the wilderness. He will be amongst us. So it's a process of time. It's not this boom destruction, because you're going to see that even in his millennial kingdom, there's things that's going on. Okay? So let's get it.
Next precept, Revelation, chapter 13, verses 16 through 18.
Where we at? 16, 13?
Yeah, verse 16 through 18. Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
He caused all, both small and great, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their head, right? Let's go to the Strong's Concordance. Revelations what? 13?
verse 16.
Verse 16. Mark. In the Greek, 5480. A sketch or etching, that is a stamp, as a badge of servitude. So this mark of the beast is a badge of servitude. It's like cattle when they stamp their brand on it. That's what the mark of the beast. When anyone that accepts this chip in their right hand or in their forehead belongs to the devil. It's a public declaration, an etching of the flesh, implant, impress, right? Let's see what impress means. Impress. IMPRESS. Okay? To effect, especially forcibly or deeply. Okay? Not to, we say implant, yeah. But it's one I want to put in here. To apply with pressure so as to imprint. Okay? So that's another definition. It's not to impress, like impress somebody, but to imprint, to go up under the flesh. But this mark is a badge of servitude. That's what it says. It will cause all those who have not those who are not written in the book of the Lamb's Book of Life to be destroyed. Because you have to make a decision. What badge you're going to carry? Are you going to have Satan's badge in your forehead, right hand, or the Most High's name on your forehead? What shepherd are you going to serve? Satan is bringing it all to the forefront where he would not be no longer in the dark. Okay? Let's get it. Let's go. Let's watch. And this is show. Let's just show. Let's get that article, them two videos.
Elder.
Yeah.
Just when we were talking about the Baphomet and the Queen, did you see that I just sent you?
Get that. That's a great picture. Let me see if I can give it to put it on there. These people put it right in your face. That's a great one, bro. Brooke, can you come put this on there? But meanwhile, let's watch these videos. That's YouTube, I think. Google. Now what? Hey, Brooke. I saved it to the notes. Go to notes. Yep. Hit it. Hold on, let me do it for you.
Quick look attachment.
You get press on to it though, right?
Yeah, double click it. Okay, save the photo. Okay, exit out.
You saved the photo already?
I'll see it. I thought it popped up in Safari. Exit. Right click it. See if you can open in Safari.
Quick look attachment. Open with preview.
Yeah. And then go to the OBS.
I'm doing the same thing right here.
Okay, yeah. Go to OBS. You can pull it up another way. Go to scene 2. Go to sources. Right there, yep. Now hit that little plus down there. Window capture. Okay. Now double click it. Yep. Okay, you good. Boom. Hit that.
Put this
Right there. Yep. And then find that quick preview.
What's the name of it? Did you something?
It should be somewhere in there. Well, it might be that one up there. Desktop photos. It might be that.
This one.
It might be.
Nope.
No.
That's
Sorry.
my baby. I just show it.
Okay, it's up on the side.
I show him up on the phone. Okay. Let's show you. These folks put it right in your face. The Baphomet, Satan, is their God. It's at the Queen's funeral, and they marching that demon to the grave. Okay? Great picture. Tawada. So let's get the 2 videos. Just showing you how they're going to force people through this digital currency to bend the knee. Okay? Let's go.
The cabinet invoked the Emergencies Act to restore.
Start over. Yeah, we got it. Go back.
On Monday, Canada invoked the cabinet invoked the Emergencies Act to restore public order.
Pause it.
Information.
Fair use.
Their strength would be in their what? Their laws. It would cause the image of the beast to both speak. It would give life into the image.
Is now being shared by law enforcement with Canada's financial institutions. Financial service providers have already taken action based on that information. The emergency measures we put in place are being used.
Don't do that.
They are having an impact, and they will have a growing impact in the days to come. Since Monday's announcement, I've spoken directly with the heads of our major banks and with the director of FinTrack.
Fair use.
My cabinet colleagues and I are meeting regularly, very regularly, including with the commissioner of the RCMP, to discuss next steps. Our absolute priority is ending these illegal blockades and occupation.
Welcome to freedom of speech, freedom of protest. They're illegal now. Well, let's go.
It gives me no pleasure to impose any of these measures. In fact, we do so with great sorrow. But do not doubt our determination to act, to defend our democracy.
For those who don't know, months ago in Canada, the truck drivers shut down the borders and stuff. I mean, they refused to carry the loads because, first of all, they paid them very low rates, and they were trying to force them to take the jab and other things. And so they protested and they boycotted. And so this is what the government did to stop their cry. Okay? Get it? So it's just showing you, yes. Hold that for a minute. Yeah.
Defend our economy and to restore
To defend
peace,
their economy.
order, and good government.
Fair
So
use.
Peace, order, and good government is when all the citizens obey government. See?
let me repeat what I said on Monday. If your truck is being used in these protests, your corporate accounts will be frozen. The insurance on your vehicle will be suspended.
And again, they know what they're doing. Like I said, as a trucking company, we cannot book a load without insurance. Okay? So you cut off, you freeze accounts and spend the insurance, the trucking company is dead. That's crippling it. Okay? So you can only bet how long did this protest last after this came to light.
They put the ace of spade out.
Ace of spade out.
The consequences are real, and they will bite.
So I'm showing this to show you what the Most High is saying. These great tribulations are at hand. When everything is transferred into this RFID chip, they're showing you what they are going to do to cause all those who are not written in the book of the last book of life to worship the beast. So this is why I said, through fear, Satan will make many who think they are servants of the Messiah in the Most High ought to be liars.
Fair use.
It is time for you to go home. And let me also be clear that we will have zero tolerance for the establishment of new blockades.
Zero tolerance? Let me also be clear. We will have zero tolerance. Try it again if you want to. So, but let's build on this. What did this say for anything that anyone has to say against the government or how the government is treating them? How right now y'all say, well, it ain't right. They taking welfare. Or they doing this. They freezing the EBT cards. They gonna say, hey, if you don't like it, you have no EBT card. If you don't do this, so I'm telling you, we have to prepare our minds on the Feast of Tabernacles. That's what this day is all about. This week is all about. Regardless of what was in our forefathers' sight, in a desert that with no water. Understand, we're about to be in a desert with no water. The Most High always say the same thing, fear not, I got you. But the fear of heart, he don't have. The faint of heart, he have not. So that's what I'm saying about the Feast of Tabernacles. That's what we do it every year. The Most High is preparing us for this day when we're in the desert without water, without food. We're going against the government in the reliance of the government. And we trust in the Most High. And the Most High says, again, I'm going to say it for the 1,000th time, as he inspired David to say, he has never seen the righteous forsaken or their seed begging for bread. We have to believe in that, people. That's what we get intense for. That's why he's showing us that he got us. It takes us out of our homes. Because guess what? The Bible said they'll kick us out of our homes. You get it? So this is what the Feast of Tabernacles is all about. It's preparation of the end days and the tribulations that's at hand. So we can understand what we're up against and where our strength, protection, and provider comes from. And who provides for us is the Most High Ahayah. Who protects us is the Most High Ahayah. Because this is that beast speaking great words.
We now have the tools to follow the money. We can see what is happening and what is being planned in real time. And we are absolutely determined that this must end now and for good.
Over the next few days, I look forward to a very vigorous exchange with members of all parties at this important and unique moment. Along with the Prime Minister and my ministerial colleagues, we will be explaining to Canadians how we got to this point, why the Emergencies Act is necessary, and where we go from here. I'm pleased to share that all ports of entry on the Canada-US border are now clear of illegal blockades and open to traffic. But I also want to add that this process is not set in stone, and nor should we assume that it is linear.
We know that these blockades could very easily reappear. And as we saw yesterday, as evidenced in Windsor, the intent to harm our economy and hurt Canadians unfortunately remains. I'd like to thank local law.
So they're saying that the truckers are harming the economy and hurting Canadians because they refuse to take the jab.
Enforcement for their swift action in Windsor in preventing another illegal blockade from fracturing the critical economic recovery of this country. To the people of Ottawa, I want to assure you, we will continue to work and support with our municipal and provincial partners to make sure that this occupation ends safely and swiftly and respectful of charter and rights and freedoms and upholding the rule of law so that they can get their city back and they can get their lives back.
Fair use.
I was going to put another one on, but I think that is suffice. You had something to say? You went? You. Yes, it was.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I had heard from my boss 2 weeks ago, because his son was supposed to work for the railroad system too. He from Colorado. Well, he live in Colorado, but same thing. You know, they were striking and stuff too, and that's the day we talked. I guess that came on the news about the railroads like that night. So just in the same vein of what's going on. That's the depths of what I kind of heard about it though.
But they're put on the flow what would happen if anybody, any group, person, whatever, want to speak against the government. You want to protest? Okay. We're showing you what's coming. This is what the digital currency is all about. Total control. Mandates. No freedom of choice. Mandates. Read.
Back to Revelation chapter 13, verse 17. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Verse 18. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666.
So this is going to show you that Satan used the papacy, the Pope, to execute his plan. And Satan is behind the men of perdition. Next precept.
Revelation chapter 16, verses 1 through 6.
So, again, no matter what kind of fear these people put before us, this is what the Most High commands his faithful. Okay? So if you think that by bending the knee to the beast, to the government, it's going to save your life, as Messiah say, many will lose their life trying to save it. Many will save their lives by losing it. Here's the warning shot from the Most High. Read.
Revelation chapter 16, verse 1. And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, Go your ways, and pour out the vials of the wrath of God upon the earth. And the first went, and poured out his vial upon the earth. And there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast.
A noisome, grievous sore. That what?
Sore upon the man which had the mark of the beast.
On the men that has taken the mark of the beast. So that chip is going to cause all kind of ill things to happen to those who take it. Read.
And upon them which worship his image. And the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea, and it became as the blood of a dead man, and every living soul died in the sea. And the third angel poured out his vial upon the rivers.
When it says worship the image, all those who bow down to the laws of the beast. And not the laws of the Most High God. Read.
And the third angel poured out his vial upon the rivers and fountains of waters, and they became blood. And I heard the angel of the waters say, Thou art righteous, O Ahayah, which art, and wast, and shalt be, because thou hast judged thus. For they have shed the blood of saints and prophets, and thou hast given them blood to drink, for they are worthy.
So I'm going to say it again. If somebody show you a picture on social media of some over in the east, a little river, a pond that's red, it ain't from the Most High. When he do it, it'll be blood. And when he does it, not a fish, nothing that's living in the water will live. Okay? Won't be no red dye. Be no life in the waters. Okay? Now, let's get beyond this grievous sore. Let's get what else is coming. Next precept.
Revelation chapter 14, verses 9 through 13. Revelation chapter 14.
Like I said, this was the warning shot from the Most High. He's giving us heads up. Hey, you bow to the need of Satan, the need to Satan, and take this mark of the beast. Here's what your future look like. Read. So, ask yourself, do you want to get this chip so you can buy some bread for your baby? Some formula for your baby? Okay, I get that. But get this, though. Let's get it.
Revelation 14, verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice.
With a loud voice.
If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God.
So while your baby drinking this formula, guess what both y'all be drinking next?
The wine of the wrath of God.
The wrath of the wine of God. The wrath of God. Read.
Which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation.
Straight, no chaser. You know I'm going to say that.
Con.
Straight, no chaser. Read.
And he shall be tormented with the fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels.
Let me ask y'all a question. You get what I'm saying now? Which God are you going to serve? Which God are you going to trust in? The Most High is telling you up front. Trying to save your life. If you think Satan going to take care of you, have at it. That's why Christ says, he that put mother, father, child, field before him ain't worthy.
Con.
You get it, it all makes sense. It all ties in harmoniously to the doctrine of the Messiah. You're hearing the doctrine. We're not adding anything to it or taking anything from it. This is the doctrine. All mankind will be faced with this dilemma. Again, the Messiah says many will try to save their life and lose it. Do you see what will happen to anyone that receive this mark or worship the beast? Let's get it.
Revelation chapter 14, verse 10.
Hold on, before we get there, what's that guy's name? Wilson, if you're still with me, man, we're almost done, and I answer your question. So can you, if you're still with us, text me and let me know that you're still here, and we'll tackle that in a minute. We got 3 more readings to do, and then I'll get that. Let's go.
Verse 10. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb.
Wow. That I don't want to be that person. It says the presence of the angels and the Messiah. Read.
Verse 11. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Yasha.
And the doctrine of the Messiah. See? Read.
Verse 13. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, Write, blessed are the dead which die in Messiah from henceforth.
Read that again.
And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, Write, blessed are the dead which die in the Messiah.
Blessed are the dead which die for the Messiah. So I'm going to tell you again. Don't put your baby before the Most High in Christ. That's why I said earlier, my mission is to live righteous. So if my son, if I leave here before my son become an age, he good. And if I leave and he's after the age that he's living the life that his daddy has shown him. See, it's more important for me to teach my son that. And this is no attack on my wife. Than to give him a play date. Just be honest. That's real love. And I'm not saying play dates ain't love. He needs that. But my focus is setting an example for my son. And as he get older, he understand his daddy. Right now, a lot of things I do, he don't understand because he's 8. But eventually, it makes sense to him. And be Most High will, he will follow the pattern that his daddy has set for him. So he's not one of me or him is not one of these in the presence of the Most High, the Christ, the Messiah, and his angels getting tormented. That's what I'm concerned about. As a father and as a husband, that's what I'm concerned about. My family and you all. Because I have accountability to the Messiah for all those that I just spoke of. And I know it's not a game. There's a greater damnation for me than for any of you. Let's get it. Yes. She had a comment. She ain't got no question. Let's get it.
He already know a heck of a lot for an 8-year-old as far as it comes to the Most High. We were in a car driving home, and he was like talking a million miles an hour. But he said, well, you and Dad, y'all seeing because y'all didn't know. But me and Lena, and he named all the kids at the church, we not going to be able to sin. I said, why? Because we know better.
All praises. My son. What'd you say in this song? Raising who?
Oh, righteous kids.
Righteous children. Mm-hmm. See? Let's get it.
Verse 13. Revelation chapter 14, verse 13. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, Write, blessed are the dead which die in the Messiah, from henceforth. Yea, saith the Spirit, they that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them.
And that's what I was saying in the beginning of this lesson. My heart is set on this. I'm not afraid to die for this labor, for this work, for this occupation. Blessed are they. That's what I'm telling you. It's not just me. You all must have the same mentality that I have. If you don't have that mentality, you won't make it. We get baptized into his death. We are all as sheep to the slaughter. That's what we signed up for. One day we all got to go anyway. Why not go out gloriously? So that's what being a true disciple of the Messiah is all about. All the prophets, the apostles, had the same mentality. Ready to be a sacrifice. Run this race with confidence that if it's your time, you have pleased the Most High. And he's going to give us rest from our labors, and our work do follow us. It's written in the books. Read.
Next precept, Revelation chapter 19, verse 11 through chapter 20, verse 4.
Where we at?
Revelation 19, verse 11.
Okay.
Revelation chapter 19, verse 11. And I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True.
See, we have help coming to recompense the evil, the wicked. Read.
And in righteousness he do judge and make war. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, and he had a name written.
For those who don't understand, boxing is kind of like real war. When a boxer is the champion, and when they compete for titles, what do the winner receive? The belt of the former title holder, right? That's why you see champions with all these belts. They conquered the so-called kings. Mm-hmm. Where in old times, when the king warred and defeated the king of whatever country or province they fought, they took the crown. See, they took his crown. So it's showing that the Messiah is going to destroy all these kingdoms. That's what it means, many crowns. He's destroying all these kingdoms. They belong to him. See? Read.
And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood. And his name is called the Word of God.
Dipped in blood. He slaughtered many. Again, this ain't this one day. This through a process of time. Through prophecy, many of these kings is going to bend the knee and serve the Messiah. The Most High is a merciful, righteous judge. Read.
And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses.
So I'm gonna say this for the millionth time, my people. Angels don't need spaceships to come to earth. When the Bible talks about chariots, it's talking about angels. They travel every day and night, all constantly through the two different rams without a spaceship. Chariots are angels, not spaceships. Okay? Many people believe it's talking about real spaceships. He's coming with who?
And the armies which are in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. And out of his mouth goeth the sharp sword.
When it says clothed in fine linen, white and clean, that means these are righteous angels. Read.
That with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with the rod of iron. And
the nations are Gentiles. He should smite the Gentiles and their kingdoms, and he should rule them. So it's showing you that in his coming back and his destruction, many of the Gentiles will serve him. He's not destroying all the Gentiles. Read.
And he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty God.
So when it talks about he come back with his eyes red, it don't mean that means that he's drunk off wine. Okay? No, I'm not saying his name, but the elder teaches that. The Most High angel, being drunk is not a good thing, the situation, condition to be in at war. And Christ said he ain't drinking wine until he comes back in the kingdom when it's established, okay? But that's the redness of his eyes means the fierce anger he's coming with of the Most High. Because he's known for drinking wine. Get out of here. But anyway, let's get it.
Verse 16. And he hath on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven,
the birds of prey,
come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great God, that ye may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, both free and bond, both small and great. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse, and against his army. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worship his.
So it's showing you that what? The mark of the beast came with a great deception. Everyone that will partake of it will be deceived. Read.
With which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. And the remnant were slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, which sword proceedeth out of his mouth, and all the fowls were filled with their flesh. Chapter 20, verse 1. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan.
So it's showing you that Satan is a liar, the father of it. No matter what technology he convinced these people to invest their money and time into, what gonna happen to y'all God? Read.
And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan.
So it's showing you that Satan has him and the third are no defense against the one on the white horse and his armies. Read.
And bound him 1,000 years.
So let's understand that who we serve. We have help. A mighty king. Our king is coming. We're going to read in a minute about those who endure. The king is coming to lay hold of the adversaries. And do what?
And cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season. And I saw.
Now, during this 1,000 years, as the Samaritan woman knew of, the Messiah would educate the earth. The law should proceed out of Zion. He would teach us all things. Okay? He would teach all things of God. Read.
And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yasha, and for the word of Ahayah, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image.
So it's showing you that many of us will die. But here's our consolation. So when we're faced with death, I pray that what I'm about to read to you right now, do I have everyone's attention? So when we're faced with death, I pray that the words that are about to come out of our mouths are heard in your head at that moment. Here's our consolation. Read again, brother.
Revelation chapter 20, verse 4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yasha, and for the word of Ahayah, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image.
So it's showing us that, right? Even though we may lose our life, what does it say for those who lost their life? We receive rest from their labor, and the works do follow. The works follow these ones. Now they're being rewarded. Read.
Which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Yasha 1,000 years.
They lived and ruled with the Messiah through the millennial kingdom. Read.
Next precept, Luke chapter 19, verse 11 through 27.
Hold where you are, because we're coming back to that. No, we're going to, we come back later on. I don't know the brothers.
He said he was
Okay, cool. Cool. Okay, let's get it.
Luke chapter 19, verse 11. And as they heard these things, he added and spake a parable, because he was nigh to Jerusalem, and because they thought that the kingdom of God should immediately appear. And he said, therefore, a certain nobleman went into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom and to return. And he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, occupy till I come. But his citizens hated him and sent the message after him, saying, we will not have this man to reign over us. And it came to pass that when he was returned, having received the kingdom, then he commanded these servants to be called unto him, to whom he had given the money, that he might know how much every man had gained by trading. Then came the first, saying, Lord, thy pound have gained 10 pounds. And he said unto him, well, thou good servant, because thou hast been faithful in a very little have thou authority over 10 cities. And the second came, saying, Lord, thy pound have gained 5 pounds. And he said likewise to him, be thou also over 5 cities.
Now let's understand what the Messiah is really saying. It has nothing to do with us preaching the gospel. But the grace that the Most High has given us, the knowledge that the Most High has given us, each of us are at a different level spiritually. But what the Most High has given us, are you faithful in it? And are you growing in it? Your works is the execution of his law. He's going back up into heaven and he's still doing the Father's work. But all of us has been called and given a measure of faith, a measure of knowledge, a measure of wisdom according to where we are right now. So if any of us in here is at the same level or stage they was at baptism, you're the one that is spoken of last. The one that has the 10 pounds is the one who received his knowledge and darkened with great joy and grew. It's growing into perfection. 10 represents perfection. Okay? Remember, he that hath little knowledge and is faithful. What's that scripture at? Sirach chapter 19, verse 24 reads, he that hath small understanding and fear of God is better than one that has much wisdom and transgresseth the law of the Most High. So you're the one with the 5, but you increased. You didn't fall back. You continue to put your hands on the plow going forward. That's what the Messiah is talking about. Okay? Let's get it.
Verse 20. And another came, saying, Lord, behold, here is thy pound, which I have kept laid up in a napkin.
Here's the one that got baptized and stayed stagnant. Read.
For I feared thee, because thou art an austere man. Thou takest up that thou laidest not down, and reapest that thou didst not sow. And he saith unto him, out of thine own mouth will I judge thee, thou wicked servant. Thou knewest that I was an austere man, taking up that I laid not down, and reaping that I did not sow. Wherefore then gavest not thou my money into the bank, that at my coming I might have required mine own with usury? And he said unto them,
here's a person that was not a light, benefited no one, not even themselves. If you had a little light, people could have observed you, and he would gain more souls. But you didn't think he was worthy. Those who are stagnant are really saying that Yasha is not worthy of their service to him. It sounded good at first, but nah, I'm cool. I'm going to go back into the world. Read.
Verse 24. And he said unto them that stood by, take from him the pound, and give it to him that hath 10 pounds. And they said unto him, Lord, he hath 10 pounds.
Look, he got more than others. He got 10 pounds. It don't matter. Read.
Verse 26. For I say unto you, that unto every one which hath shall be given, and from him that hath not, even that he have shall be taken away from him.
Should be taken away from him.
Verse 27. But those, mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them,
who prefer not that I should reign over them, bring to me, bring hither, and slay them before me. When Messiah comes back, that's what will be going on. Many people will be an opportunity. Bend the knee or be slayed. For a long time, I didn't understand, and I think it's Isaiah when it talks about that a child will die even though being 100 years old. I get it. It's a process of time. Next precept.
Next precept. Isaiah chapter 66, verses 10 through 24.
Here's a scripture that I love to use when people try to go against the dietary law. Christ said, "Whatever goes into man, the defilement of what comes out." Okay. Let's see if that holds any weight to prophecy. Let's go.
Isaiah chapter 66, verse 10. Rejoice ye with Jerusalem, and be glad with her. All ye that love her, rejoice for joy with her. All ye that mourn for her, that ye may suck and be satisfied with the breast of her consolations, that ye may milk out and be delighted with the abundance of her glory. For thus says the Most High, behold, I will extend peace to her like a river, and the glory of the Gentiles like a flowing stream. Then shall ye suck, ye shall be borne upon her sides, and be dandled upon her knees. As one whom his mother comforteth, so will I comfort you, and ye shall be comforted in Jerusalem. And when ye see this, your heart shall rejoice.
And the Messiah said that we will not see Jerusalem until the Son of Man returns. Read.
And when ye see this, your heart shall rejoice, and your bones shall flourish like an herb. And the hand of the Most High shall be known toward his servants, and his indignation toward his enemies. For behold, the Messiah will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind.
With his angels like a whirlwind, a tornado. Read.
To render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Most High plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Most High shall be many.
That's the Messiah, but go ahead.
Salakia.
It's cool.
17. Verse 17, they that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh, and the abomination and the mouse shall be consumed together, saith the Most High. For I know their works and their thoughts. It shall come that I will gather all nations and tongues, and they shall come and see my glory.
See that? It also talks in another place. He will purge out the rebels. These are some rebels who had sanctified themselves, purified themselves, who was following, but lost faith. But the Most High said that he would gather all nations, not giving people the ability to get a passport. Read.
Verse 18. For I know their works and their thoughts. It shall come that I will gather all nations and tongues, and they shall come and see my glory. And I will set a sign among them, and I will send those that escape of them into the nations, Tarshish, Pul, and Lud, that draw the bow, Tubal and Javan, to the isles afar off, that have not heard my fame, neither have seen my glory, and they shall declare my glory among the Gentiles. And they shall bring all your brethren for an offering unto the Most High, out of all nations upon horses, and in chariots, and in litters, and upon mules, and upon swift beasts, to my holy mountain Jerusalem, says the Most High. And the children of Israel bring an offering in a clean vessel into the house of Ahayah. And I will also take of them for priests and for Levites, saith the Most High. For as the new heavens and the new earth, which I will make, shall remain before me, said the Most High, so shall your seed and your name remain. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, says Ahayah. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me, for their worms shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched. And they shall be an abhorring unto all flesh.
It should be abhorring to all flesh, so the Most High will purge out the rebels through the millennial reign of the Messiah. Okay? Next precept.
2 Ezra chapter 11, verse 38 through chapter 13, verse 58.
I read it. Let's get more insight. 2 Ezra chapter 11, we're going to read 38 to chapter 13, 58. Count when everyone's there. And Zion shall come and shall be shown to all men, being prepared and builded, like as thou sawest the hill graven with. This is the vision. Huh? Where am I at? Oh, I'm sorry. Where am I at? 13, 38?
Chapter 2 Ezra chapter 11, verse 38.
Oh, I'm tripping. Okay. So the Most High gave Ezra many visions, okay, concerning the latter end. Hear thou, I will talk with thee. This is angel speaking to the prophet Ezra. And the highest shall say unto thee, Are not thou it that remaineth of the four beasts? We read about this fourth beast, right? Rome, whom I made to reign in my world, that the end of their times might come through them. And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression. And so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit. For the earth hast thou not judged with truth, for thou hast afflicted the meek, thou hast hurt the peaceable, thou hast loved liars, and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, hast cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm. Therefore thy wrongful dealings come up unto the highest, and thy pride unto the mighty. The highest also have looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended. Its abominations are fulfilled, and sin has come to a head. And therefore appear no more thou eagle, nor thy horrible wings, nor thy wicked feathers, nor thy merciless heads, nor thy hurtful claws, nor all thy vain body, that all the earth may be refreshed and may return, being delivered from thy violence, and that she may hope for the judgment and mercy of him that made her. And it came to pass, while the lion spake these words unto the eagle, I saw, and behold, the head that remained and the four wings appeared no more. And the two went into it, and set themselves up to reign. And their kingdom was small and full of uproar, confusion. And I saw, and behold, they appeared no more. And the whole body of the eagle was burnt, so that the earth was in great fear. Then awakened I out of a terrible trance of my mind, and from great fear, and said unto my spirit, Lo, this hast thou done unto me, in that thou searchest out the ways of the highest. Lo, yet am I weary in my mind, and very weak in my spirit, and little strength there is in me. For the great fear within I was affrighted this night. Therefore will I now beseech the highest, that he will comfort me unto the end. And I said, Lord, thou bearest rule. If I have found grace before thy sight, and if I am justified with thee before many others, and if my prayers indeed be come up before thy face, comfort me then, and show me thy servant the interpretation and plain difference of this fearful vision, that thou mayest perfectly comfort my soul. For thou hast judged me worthy to show me the last times. And he said unto me, this is the interpretation of the vision. The eagle, whom thou sawest come from the sea, is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel. But it was not expounded unto him. Therefore now I declare unto thee, behold, the days will come, that there shall arise a kingdom upon earth, and it shall be feared above all the kingdoms that were before it. In the same shall 12 kings reign, one after another, whereof the second shall to begin to reign, and shall have more time than any of the 12. And this do the 12 wings signify, which thou sawest. As for the voice which thou heardest speak, that thou sawest not to go out from the heads, but from the midst of the body thereof. This is the interpretation. And after the time of that kingdom shall arise great striving, and it shall stand in perils of falling, or dangerous times of falling. Nevertheless, it shall not then fall, but shall be restored again to his beginning. Let me just read about that. And whereas thou sawest the 8 small under feathers sticking to her wings, this is the interpretation, that in him there shall arise 8 kings, whose time shall be but small, and their years swift. And 2 of them shall perish, and the middle time approaching. 4 should be kept until their end begin to approach, but 2 should be kept until the end. And whereas thou sawest 3 heads resting, this is the interpretation. In the last days shall the Most High raise up 3 kingdoms, and renew many things therein. And they shall have the dominion of the earth, and of those that dwell therein, with much oppression, above all those that were before them. Therefore are they called the heads of the eagle. For these are they that shall accomplish his wickedness, and shall finish his last end. Whereas thou sawest that the great head appeared no more, it signifies that one of them shall die upon his bed, and yet with pain. For the 2 that remain shall be slain with the sword. For the sword of the one shall devour the other, but at the last shall he fall through the sword himself. And whereas thou sawest 2 feathers under the wings passing over the head that is on the right side, it signifies that these are they whom the highest have kept until their end. This is the small kingdom and full of trouble, as thou sawest. And the lion, whom thou sawest raising up out of the wood and roaring, and speaketh to the eagle, and rebuking her for her unrighteousness, with all the words which thou hast heard. This is the anointed, which the highest hath kept from them, and for their wickedness until the end. He shall reprove them, and shall upbraid them with their cruelty, for he shall set them before him alive in judgment, and shall rebuke them and correct them. For the rest of my people shall he deliver with mercy, those that have been preserved upon my borders, and he shall make them joyful until the coming of the day of judgment, whereof I have spoken to thee from the beginning. This is the dream that thou sawest, and these are the interpretations. Thou only have been meet to know the secret of the highest. Therefore write all these things that thou hast seen in a book, and hide them, and teach them to the wise of the people. whose hearts thou knowest may comprehend and keep these secrets. But wait thou here thyself yet 7 more days, that it may be shown thee whatsoever it pleases the highest to declare unto thee. And with that he went his way. And it came to pass, when all the people saw that the 7 days were past, and I not come again into the city, they gathered themselves all together, from the least unto the greatest, and came unto me and said, What have we offended thee? And what evil have we done against thee, that thou forsakest us, and sittest here in this place? For of all the prophets thou art only left us, as a cluster of the vintage, and as a candle in a dark place, and as a haven or ship preserved from the tempest or storm. Are not the evils which are come upon us sufficient? If thou hast forsaken us, how much better had it been for us if we also had been burned in the midst of Zion? Remember, this is the time of the captivity of Babylon. For we are not better than they that are dead there. And they wept with a loud voice. Then answered I them and said, Be of good comfort, O Israel, and be not heavy, thou house of Jacob. For the highest have you in remembrance, and the mighty have not forgotten you in temptation. As for me, I have not forsaken you, neither am I departed from you, but I am come into this place to pray for the desolation of Zion, and that I may seek mercy for the low estate of your sanctuary. And now go your way home, every man, and after these days I will come unto you. So the people went their way into the city, like as I commanded them. But I remained still in the field 7 days, as the angel commanded me, and did eat only in those days of the flowers of the field, and had my meat of the herbs. And it came to pass, after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there rose a wind from the sea, and it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth fell when it fleeth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there were gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the 4 winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. Understand, I told you, these people are getting prepared to fight against the Messiah. And I beheld, and lo, he had graven himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. But I would not have seen the region or place where out the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst to fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blaze of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together, the blaze of fire and the flaming breath and the great tempest or storm, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. How far I'm going? 58. Afterwards, I saw the same man come down from the mountain, and called unto him another peaceable multitude. And there came much people unto him, whereof some was glad, some was sorry, some of them was bound, and others some brought of them that were offered. Then was I sick through great fear, and I awakened and said, Thou hast showed thy servant these wonders from the beginning, and hast counted me worthy that thou should have received my prayer. Show me now yet the interpretation of this dream, for I am conceived in my understanding. Woe unto them that should be left in those days. So this destroys the left behind doctrine or the rapture doctrine. So it says, woe, trouble times, destruction unto them. It says, for as I conceive in my mind understanding, woe unto them that should be left in those days, and much more woe unto them that are not left behind. So perilous times are at hand, but much more to those who are not left behind. For they that were not left were in heaviness. Now understand I, the things that are laid up in the latter days, which shall happen unto them, and to those that are left behind. Therefore are they come into great perils or dangerous times, and many necessities, like as these dreams declare. Yet it is easier for him that is in danger to come into these things, than to pass away as a cloud out of the world. Okay? Ain't no such thing in no rapture doctrine, right? And not to see the things that happen in the last days. And he answered unto me and said, the interpretation of the vision shall I show thee. And I will open unto thee the things that thou hast required. Whereas thou hast spoken of them that are left behind. This is the interpretation. He that should endure the perils or dangers in that time have kept himself, protected himself. So what is the rapture? So those that endure to the end, the same should be saved. So we must go through these things, those that are alive. Where am I at?
23. He that has endured the perils in that time have kept himself. They that be fallen into danger are such as has works and faith towards the Almighty. Read again. They that have fallen into danger are such as have works, so their faith has been proven by their works. They didn't receive the mark of the beast or worship his image. And faith towards the Almighty. Know this, therefore, that they which be left behind are more blessed than they that be dead, that he destroyed. This is the meaning of the vision. Whereas thou sawest a man coming up from the midst of the sea, the same is he whom who God the highest, who Ahayah the highest, has kept a great season, by which by his own self shall deliver his creature, and shall order them that are left behind. And whereas thou sawest that out of his mouth there came as a blaze of wind, a blast of wind, and fire and storm, and that he held neither sword nor any instrument of war, but that the rushing in of him destroying the whole multitude that came to subdue him. This is the interpretation. Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth. And he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another. This is what the Messiah was quoting from in Matthew 24. One people against another, or race against another race. And one ram against another. He's going to turn them against the demons against themselves. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen which I showed thee before. And then shall my son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascending. And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have won against another. And an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, as thou sawest them, willing to come and to overthrow him by fighting. But he shall stand up on the top of the Mount Zion, and Zion shall come, and shall be showed to all men, being prepared and builded, like as thou sawest the hill graven without hands. And this my son shall rebuke the wicked inventions, the technology,
of those nations, which for their wicked lies are fallen into the tempest or storm, and shall lay before them their evil thoughts, and the torment wherewith they should begin to be tormented, which are like unto a flame. And he shall destroy them without labor by the law which is like into fire. And whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him, those are the 10 tribes, which were carried away prisoner out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanassar the king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen, and go forth into a further country, where neither mankind dwelt, that they might there keep his statutes, which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow patches of the river. For the Most High then showed signs to them, for them, and held still the flood, till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half. And the same region is called Azarus, which we call America. This is the 10 tribes, the Native Americans, the so-called Mexicans and Puerto Ricans and all them. This is them, 10 tribes, the northern kingdom. And then dwelt they until the latter time. And now when they shall begin to come, the highest shall say to the springs of the streams again, that they may go through. Therefore saw thou the multitude with peace. But those that be left behind of thy people are they that are found within my borders. Now when they destroy the multitude of the nations that are gathered together, he shall defend his people that remain. And then shall he show them great wonders. Then said I, O Ahayah, that bears rule, show me this. Wherefore have I seen the man coming up from the midst of the sea? And he said unto me, like as thou canst neither seek out nor know the things that are in the deep of the sea, even so can no man upon earth see my son, or those that be with him, but in the daytime. This is the interpretation of the dream which thou sawest, and whereby thou only art here lightened. For thou hast forsaken thy own way, and applied thy diligence unto my law, and sought it. Thy life hast thou offered in wisdom. Thy life hath thy ordered in wisdom, and has called understanding thy mother. And therefore have I showed thee the treasures of the highest. After other 3 days I will speak other things unto thee, and declare unto thee mighty and wondrous things. Then went I forth to the field, giving praise and thanks greatly unto the Most High, because of his wonders, which he did in time, and because he governed the same, and such things as fall in their seasons. And there I sat 3 days. Revelation chapter 20, verse 5. We're going to tie it all in. Last precept. Last reading of this. Then we get to answering my man's question. And we conclude the lesson.
Revelation chapter 20, verse 5 through 22, verse 21.
Go and get it.
Come on.
I read it. Revelation chapter 20, verse 5 reads, But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years was finished. This is the first resurrection. Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such the second death hath no power. They have been granted immortality. But they shall be priests of the Most High and of Messiah, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the Gentiles, which are in the four corners of the earth. So we see that through his 1,000 years, because outside of the court, outside when the angel was measuring for the kingdom, the Most High gave the Gentiles this land. So the Gentiles are spread throughout the four corners of the earth during this 1,000 years. Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. Now, these are those who chose to serve the Messiah without any interference or any deceiving, because Satan is locked up. So they was taught by the Messiah, and they all are righteous. But now, here comes the tempter. Okay? So they have these Gentiles have been given the opportunity. Now, all the Gentiles are not going to be destroyed. Obviously, we know that. And they went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints. That's what we just read about. Saints about in the beloved city, and fire came down from the Most High out of heaven and devoured them. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. And I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heavens fled away, and there was no place found for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before the Most High, and the books were opened. So you see, the judgment comes after the 1,000-year reign of Christ. Okay? Not before. The final judgment comes. Verse 12, and I saw the dead, small and great, stand before the Most High, and the books were opened. These are the books that the angels are writing every day, every night. Everything we say and everything we do is recorded. And another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things that were written in the books, according to their works. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it. And death and hell they delivered up the dead which were in them. As we read before, like I think in the Apocalypse part and other records, at this time, everyone who ever lived would be resurrected and judged. Okay? Verse 13, and the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them. And they would judge every man according to their works. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. Whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. And I saw new heavens and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. Here's the gift from on high. This is after the 1,000-year reign of the Messiah. Now John saw the holy city, New Jerusalem. Before this, the Messiah would be in Jerusalem teaching the law. He says, law will come forth out of Zion. Okay? And the Most High said that he'd be like a flame of a consuming fire, a flaming fire surrounding us, protecting us. Coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for a husband. And I heard a great voice out of the heavens saying, behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they should be his people. And Ahayah himself shall be with them, and be their God. Ahayah shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. This is not the millennial reign. It is pain and crying and dying in Christ's kingdom. And he that has sat upon the throne says, behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, write, for these words are faithful and true. And he said unto me, it is done. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of the waters of life freely. He that overcomes shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. Hold on. I want to read something to y'all. Out of 1 Corinthians, chapter 15. I'm going to start at verse 20. But now is Messiah risen from the dead, and become the first fruit of them that slept. For since by man came death, by man came also the resurrection of the dead. For as in Adam all die, even so in Messiah shall all be made alive. But every man in his own order. Messiah the first fruits, afterwards they that are Messiahs at his coming. Then come the end, when he shall have delivered up the kingdom to the Most High, even the Father, when he shall have put down all rule and all authorities and power. That's what he will be doing at his coming, during his reign. For he must reign till he hath put all enemies under his feet. Which is read when all enemies was put in his feet, when Satan, death, and hell are cast into a lake of fire. Okay? The last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. For he hath put all things under his feet. But when he saith all things are put under him, it is manifest that he is accepted, which did put all things under him. When all things should be subdued unto him, then should the Son also himself be subject unto him that put all things under him, that Ahayah may be all in all. Okay? Y'all understand that? And now it goes. Where we at?
Verse
8.
7. Yep.
8. But the fearful, and unbelieving, and the abominable, and murderers, and whoremongers, and sorcerers, and adulterers, and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. And there came unto me one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials full of the 7 last plagues, and talked with me, saying, Come hither, I will show you the bride, the Lamb's wife. And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from the Most High, having the glory of Ahayah, and her light was like unto a stone most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal, and had a wall great and high, and the 12 gates, and at the 12 gates 12 angels, and the names were written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm going to, because we thoroughly know that. I'm going to read 22 verse 11. He that is unjust, let him be unjust still. And he which is filthy, let him be filthy still. And he that is righteous, let him be righteous still. And he that is holy, let him be holy still. Behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according to his works, as his works should be. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have the right to the tree of life. It may enter in through the gates into the city. For outside are dogs, and sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. Ahayah has sent my angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David, and the bright and morning star. And the Spirit say, and the Spirit and the bride say, Come. And let him that heareth say, Come. And let him that is athirst come. And whosoever will, let him take the water of life freely. For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book. If any man should add unto these things, God shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. And if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, Ahayah shall take away his part out of the book of life, and out of the holy city, and from the things which are written in this book. He which testifies these things says, surely I come quickly. Amen. Even so, come, Lord Yasha. The grace of our Lord Yasha be with you all. Amen. So what we just read is what's to come. The enemies will shoot their best shot, but the Most High, through His word, through His prophecy, has given us consolation that those that endured these dangerous times will be rewarded greatly and receive the kingdom and eternal life and be a son and daughter of the Most High, Ahayah, forever. Now, the brother had a question about Colossians
2:16 and 17.
2 what?
16 verses. He got verse 16 and 17.
Okay. Colossians chapter 2, verse 16 and 17. Let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink or in respect of a holy day or of the new moon or of the Sabbath days, which are a shadow of things to come, but the body is of Messiah. You understand, this time, brother, the Jews were still sacrificing animals. They were still, those who had, the majority had rejected the Messiah and kept the Levitical services of the law of Moses. So,
Are we still live? Are we still live?
yeah, it's still counting.
It's circling around like we ain't live or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see it right there.
We still
Okay. Okay. So we got to take into consideration the context of the time that this was written. The majority of the Hebrews were still sacrificing animals and doing what Moses said on the holy days and upon the Sabbath. So he said, our kingdom is not a meat and drink. So it's not about these carnal sacrifices anymore. The Messiah has come. So let no man judge you. What they got to say about how we operating in Christ, let them say. Okay? We're still keeping the holy days, but it's not with the sacrifices. And we're still doing as this day. As you can look through all these, matter of fact, let's get it. Let's go to Acts. Acts chapter 2, verse 1. And when the day of Pentecost or the Feast of Weeks or the Feast of First Fruits were fully come, they were all in one accord in one place. Now, these ain't the so-called Jews that's keeping the Levitical rules of sacrifice. These are those who are under the Messiah. Okay? It says, so these are those who are in the churches of Christ, not in the synagogues with the other Jews. Okay? And when the day of Pentecost was fully come, they were all in one accord in one place. And suddenly there came a sound from heaven as a rushing mighty wind, and it filled all the house where they were sitting. And there appeared unto them cloven tongues like as fire, and it sat upon each of them. And they were all filled with the Holy Spirit and began to speak with other tongues or languages, as the Spirit gave them utterance. So, it is showing that after the Messiah, the apostles and the true disciples of Christ kept the holy days. But the Messiah is our sacrifice. So we no longer have to perform the animal sacrifices. And that's what Paul was making clear to the people. Because remember, Paul and them was, prior to Paul being reached out to by the Messiah, they was persecuting the Christians. And even when Paul came, they was persecuting him. So there was a lot of persecution that was going on because they was deeming the churches of the Messiah as as heresy. Okay? So it's saying, let no man judge you in meat and drink. That's what it's talking about. Meat and drink are meat offerings and drink offerings. Okay? But they still kept the holy days, and throughout all the New Testament, you see that Paul was keeping the apostles were keeping all the holy days. Okay? So that's all it means, brother. It don't mean that let the man judge you eat for meat and drink, that we can eat what we want to do and eat what we choose. We just read out of Isaiah 66 that the Messiah is coming to destroy those who break his dietary law. Okay, so that's all it means, brother. Disregard what they doing over there. We're going to do what we do over here. Okay? So I hope to answer your question, my brother. I'm bid you all Godspeed. Shabbat Shalom. All hail Ahayah.